mistakes and all, but all I want is love unconditional. Love unconditional. I don't deserve.
Yes, and we are live. Shout out to the homeboy namesake. It is the one and only MeechReal with the one and only Mrs. Real. Mrs. Real?
That's good.
You take that?
That's
no,
good.
tell them your
that.
name, sweetheart.
I take that. Mrs. Real is she real?
She gotta be real.
I do. I don't really have a choice.
No, so it's exciting, man. Today is a special show. We're giving it to y'all. Today is actually the 2nd, ain't it? Ain't it August 2nd?
It is.
August 2nd, Wednesday. Reporting to you live from the lovely bossed up OhSoMediaGroup station. Oh my God, like this studio is just, I'm just so in love with it.
It's pretty dope.
It is, man. When they just, man, they just getting started. So today, man, the title, man, we're talking about is called "Let's Make Love," which I love talking about making love, but not the way most people think when they hear about it.
I think you should.
I should give you a disclaimer.
Clarity in there.
No, we gonna talk about it.
Well,
and see where your mind just went is the exact reason why we're gonna talk about it. So, before we get into all that, man, like I said, it's Wednesday. We're recording on a different day for a special reason. 'Tis the season why we're talking about love in the first place, because I am embarking on my 5th year of betrothment. Is that the word? Of being betrothed or betrothed? No?
I need to get my dictionary.
No, we've been married for 5 years, and our anniversary is actually Friday. So MeechReal is going to really enjoy his anniversary weekend with his lovely wife. But I love y'all so much that I kind of gave y'all like the side chick part. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to talk to my listeners the day before or the day after, but not the day of. Because why? Because
the way that you think.
Is that, I'm just saying, like, you know, when people have side chicks, listen, first of all, I'm not condoning you being a side chick. You a queen, sweetheart, so don't settle for that foolishness. But what I am saying is the people who side chicks, they know when holidays come up, they got to pick the day before or the day after. So even though I love my listeners, man, everybody, if you're listening to this right now, man, you know I love you. But I love my wife a little bit more. And you should want me to love my wife more, because y'all ain't going to come and do the stuff that she do for me. You feel me? They might. I don't know. I mean, I got some pretty dope listeners, but I want y'all to do it to somebody that y'all love and y'all married, because I got mine, so get yours. But so how was the week so far? It's Hump Day.
It is.
We having a show called Let's Make Love on Hump Day. That's crazy. I didn't even do that on purpose. That was all God.
Was it all God?
All God. How was the week?
My week was so far so good. It has started out pretty amazing. You guys know I love Mondays, so I'm always in the office rocking out. Yesterday we launched our school, so I'm super excited about the fall. Okay. And so far we rocking out this week.
Sweet. Give me a little bit about what's this launch about the school, and because we talked about it the last time you was here.
Oh yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. So Chase Great Enterprises has launched a coaching certification program, a licensed by the state certification program for innovators, not just for entrepreneurs, but for job holders as well, who are seeking a lane in coaching and leadership development. So we just launched the school on yesterday. We have our fall classes available starting in September. And we have 2 different types of certification programs. We have an affiliate certification program where you become a Chase Great coach. And then we have our specialty coaching certification where you can really create your own lane in coaching. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Sweet. That's dope. So if you want to be certified, so if you want it to be real when you out here coaching, then you could create coaches.
Absolutely.
So listen, so we talking about love. So basically what you doing is giving people the opportunity to basically impregnate other people to give birth to their purpose, right?
Absolutely.
So they kind of making love in the natural sense of what people think about doing it, but in the spiritual, no.
Yeah, not
kind of. We can stretch to that a little. I mean, like kind of.
I mean, well, okay. So I'll take it this way. Okay. I'll take it this way. So
we're not talking about physical doing.
No, we're not. We're talking about a spiritual connection,
purpose and endowment and empowerment of you actually giving people the tools.
Right. So here's the thing: you take your gift, you really nurture and develop your gift, and then now you take that gift and you impregnate someone who needs the gift, so that they could be great. So I guess it is a type of.
So you kind of Chase Gray kind of out here getting people pregnant.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
In the spirit.
I mean, we got a bunch of babies walking around here. We do. I'm not even gonna hold you up. I'm a baby mama to a bunch of kids.
So after they certify Chase Gray, then they can come back and they can actually be raised and nurtured and cultivated.
Absolutely. I mean, why?
Because we don't like illegitimate, or we not deadbeat purpose parents.
We're not deadbeat. That's good. We're not deadbeat purpose parents. We're actually
that preached to me.
Parents that nurture, develop, and care for the baby. So I don't want you to think that you out here, you done got pregnant and now you got to go develop this vision by yourself.
Yeah.
You have great leaders in place that can really help you push. Yeah,
Chase Gray is kind of like grandma. You know, whatever happened, grandma got you. Like, we gonna get you together. So, man, let's talk about love a little bit. And this is funny because this is something that I'm getting a little more and more passionate to. I want to say communicate and explain because of my new understanding on love. And yes, I have been married for 5 years with a false sense, or I want to say a misguided full understanding of love. And that's why the grace of God is so dope, is because you don't got to have it all together for you to be able to do dope stuff. I have a pretty dope marriage, not perfect, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And this is with a maturing sense of love, like, you know what I'm saying, 5 years in. So when the first way I understood it was when I started to study it a little bit. Like, let's just off the definition of love, right? It says an intense feeling of deep affection. They give you some synonyms like fondness, tenderness, warmth, intimacy, attachment, endearment, devotion, adoration, idolization, worship, passion, adore, desire, lust, yearning, infatuation, compassion, care, caring, regards, concern, friendliness, kindness. There's another one that says a person or thing that one loves. The verb of love is feel a deep romantic or sexual attachment to.
Those definitions are all feelings.
Absolutely. And that's the one thing, man, we think that we can make love. And what's dope about it is, man, that actually love made us.
Yeah.
Love made us because God is love.
Hearing that definition I can see why so many people have a misunderstanding of love and how to love, because those are all feelings, which means that they have to be provoked by some sort of emotion or some type of
stimulation.
A stimulation instead of it being a decision.
Exactly.
That's good.
So it's very discouraging, and it actually just explains why so many people struggle in areas of depression, of low-mindedness, because they don't they're looking for love, or they're lacking the feeling that's not even love. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody isn't blessed to have their parents in their life the entire time, or to be at a stage where they're popular, or people so-called love them, or they got boyfriends and baes and all of this, that, and the fourth. And I think that the one thing that people we haven't been able to explain is that, listen, you're struggling with not receiving certain stimulation, but everybody has love. You know what I'm saying? We legit serve a God that loves you so much, man, that he's just cold with everything that he does, and perpetuating and helping your life sustain itself and actually mature and grow. And many people go around and are depressed and think of suicide because they're like, nobody loves me. Like, wait a minute. If you only understood the intenseness of what love really is versus how love can make you feel. Because love, I'm not saying love doesn't attract these feelings or emotions.
I think those feelings and those emotions are a post-requisite, if that's the proper term.
So you're saying after.
It's an after effect. It's a reward. It's what happens after you make the decision versus looking for those feelings to make the decision. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So I think that, and unfortunately, with growing up, you wait for a parent to buy you something, or you wait for a parent to do something extravagant for you to believe that parent loves you, or for that boo to love you, instead of making a decision that what love is and how you expect for it to be reciprocated versus a feeling.
Yeah, actually, what I think is super dope, before we go into our one of our other new segments that's called Back in the Day, I love how the Bible really even explains love. Like, it calls it charity.
Yeah.
So anybody who knows what charity is, charity has nothing to do with the individual that's actually
doing it,
demonstrating it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the need of the other person.
Absolutely.
Which goes back to explaining how dope and how God is love. Because God don't, I don't want to say he don't need us, because he loves us and he can use us, but he don't need us. You feel me? Like, we needed him. So I think it's really dope when you look at it. So I gave y'all the Webster's dictionary, the definition of what the common census of what we consider it to be. Now, in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13:4, it says, charity suffereth long, or love is patient. Then it says, charity envieth not. Charity valueth not itself, is not puffed up. So it says, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. You see that? What it says that it always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, it always perseveres. Now, none of these are attached to
feelings
or or circumstances.
Yeah.
Because always trusting somebody is almost biased to circumstance. Because when they say, I'll always do this, then that means everything else around it is not necessarily.
It's obsolete.
Yeah.
So if you're saying I'll always trust, that means you can't, there's no room for emotions in there. Because if you hurt me, then naturally I'm going to respond with, I no longer trust you.
Absolutely.
But if the word says that I'm supposed to always trust you, that means my feelings have nothing to do with the deed.
It's also, if it's not self-seeking, meaning that there's a part of this where it's not about what I can get from you, which a lot of people, because of feelings, are being taken advantage of. They're being hurt because a person sees the value of what they can take from them. You get what I'm saying? So it's really tough, man. So today, man, I had to bring my wife in real quick for us just to kind of talk about love. We are not the voices of what love is. God is the voice and the spirit and the manifestation of love.
I think we're good.
We're going to talk about love a little bit. Yeah.
I think we're a good reflection.
I mean, yeah.
A good example of what it is.
Or a good example of what not it is. Either way, God gonna get that work.
Either way, he gonna get
absolutely.
His glory.
So our new segment, like I said, back in the day, I remember everybody talks about, what used to be this, that, and the fourth. So before we understood,
when this segment, it reminds me of the song Back in the Day when I was,
of course,
that's hilarious.
We're supposed to have a drop, but like my interns suck. So I just fired them.
I could have like pre-recorded that.
You
like
should
back
have.
in the day when I was young, I'm not.
That's why you
anymore.
See. Help me. You did not help me meet.
I didn't know. I could have dropped them bars for you real quick.
But I gotta always trust you. I gotta always trust you and forgive you. But whatever. So,
we're not gonna go there.
What was so even without the huge, deep understanding, what was the first time you thought you was in love? And y'all know how awkward this is talking to you about. But me and my old lady, we was homies. I know it was about somebody who used to wear turtlenecks or was like super weak or somebody. No,
he be throwing so many shots. We're not gonna go tit for tat on who dated.
Don't do that because some of my exes still listen to my show.
They
better and they need to comment 5 stars, say you love it.
Yeah.
So no shots.
All right. No, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little left. The first time I thought I was in love, I was a child. And unfortunately, my love was taken for granted at a young age by an older gentleman who manipulated what love was to me.
Wow, you going to go to... Okay.
So because of the manipulation of what I thought love was.
Well, let's help because like I said, and this is a lot deeper of a conversation, so I want you to give our listeners a little bit of context. If you feel comfortable.
Oh no, it's a testimony. When I was in the 5th grade, I had a gentleman. He was a.
Don't say his name or nothing like that.
Really, I had a gentleman. Hopefully he listening. No, I had a gentleman that he was about. I was about 11, so he was about 26, maybe.
Jesus Christ.
He was a teacher at the school, and this is in my time where I was searching for love from my dad, when I was really trying to figure out.
You were searching for the stimulation or
of love
right.
from my father.
The validation of a
absolutely. And he came in and he manipulated what I thought love was by attempting to take advantage. Thank God for his mercy.
So I would say let's talk about a little bit of love, of how that story, without being too graphic, because that's a whole nother conversation. But tell them about the love of someone else that protected you from that.
Absolutely. Listen, when I tell you that the Holy Ghost is real, my mother used to eavesdrop on my phone conversations. Oh my gosh, like, why are you doing this, lady? But if it wasn't for the Holy Spirit telling her to pick up the line and listen, that same day I could have been abducted. So
because y'all was supposed to meet
because
up
we were supposed to meet up, because he wanted to show me what love was.
Jesus.
So my understanding of love had been tainted since I was about 11 years old. So honestly, right now, at the age that I am now in my marriage, this is the first time that I authentically understand what love is and how love is supposed to be exercised versus
in a romantic setting with two people who are care about each other and want to date.
The romantic type of love. And I'm not even going to say just romantic. The love that you seek from a parent, the love that you seek from your spouse, the love that you seek from your children, really understanding what that is. This is the period of my life where I have revelation.
Absolutely. I remember seeing my kids, and I wish I could say that was the first time I fell in love, because it's up there when Corey first came out and just popped his eyes right open and looked at me, and it just like changed everything that I ever conceived of what even, I don't know. I
think your story is a little different. I think that you really identified love before that.
Yeah, no, actually, I mean, real love, or the first time I was ever introduced, and
I'm saying from the child perspective, because you had a child, your first son versus your firstborn, right? So your firstborn gave you a different type of love, but a first son, you didn't have a reason. You had no reason to love.
Well, I think that's dope, if you say it like that, because I mean, God, when I first saw Carter, my oldest, my first boy, the first thing I got was responsibility. That's why a lot of times when people talk about love and they talk about how they feel, I'm like, man, when I first was introduced to being like a parent's love, like the love that, what I'm saying, like our earthly fathers are somewhat of an example of what God the Father is that, dog, I didn't feel like, I did feel, I wasn't like, oh, goo goo gaga. I was like, oh, I have a responsibility. Like, I need to be here.
But love is a responsibility.
Absolutely. So that was the first thing that came to my head. Like, I want to be here for this part of his life. I want to be here. I want him to depend on me. And I think that's one of the things that when God looks at us, it's like, man, I want to be here for this. I want to make sure this happens for this person. I want to open up these opportunities. I want to love him. And thankfully, like I said, he didn't reject me. I wasn't rejected. But back in the day, when we talk about love, and I know this was a nickname, so it don't matter, but I remember her name was Blitz, and I really liked her. She was super older than me, and she took my hat. I had a sweet hat. Anybody who know me, it's very rare you see me without a hat. I love hats, and I gave her my hat, and she just took it, and she just like never came back. Like to this, like just.
So your first experience of love was someone taking something from you?
Absolutely, was me giving them something to try to get love back. Because like I said, she was older than me, so I liked her. But I had a fresh hat. My hat was super fresh. And she was like, oh, that hat's sweet. You cute. I was like, you can have my hat. Because if she wearing my hat.
That means she loved you too?
That means she rocked with me. Yeah. Anybody who heard my testimony knows that it's deeper. It's deeper. Like, that's something I always believed in taking meant you liked me, or you give, me giving you something and me taking something from you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's like, that was legit my thing. And it matured into where me sleeping with you became love. You know what I'm saying? So, but I remember that back in the day.
But it's the same thing. That's
Absolutely.
How miraculous God is, because even in that moment of your hat being taken, that was your understanding, or that's what I didn't help you identify if someone cared for you.
Crazy enough, I think it actually affected it because I lost expectation of people giving anything back. So I think it kind of, just think about
Yeah,
that sister, because she
that's
never brought
good.
it back. So then even before.
But even moving forward, how
So
you
it was
would
more or
take
less, I just
something
wanted to-
from
yeah.
the next woman in expectation of something in return.
Right.
So that was a pattern that you had taken, not even realizing how the enemy has seeped in and started to transform your way of thinking and started perverting your idea of love. So that's good.
So yeah, so just understanding, man, that love comes with responsibility, but there are so many other facets and emotions and things that are floating around that the world has to offer you that really does not care about you at all, and that is really just there to take, to hurt, to harm, to take advantage, to expose weakness, not to build. Like, love never makes you worse. You know what I'm saying? That's why
it's supposed to make you better.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Love doesn't numb you from anything.
But unfortunately, it's so crazy how love is flipped on you and how you're taught what love is, because in most cases, until you really experience the love of God, it does work against you because you're searching for something that doesn't exist.
Right.
And especially
look
as
for a bunch of
women,
supplements
you're
and,
looking for a bunch of stuff. You're looking for a bunch
substitutes and
of
all that, right.
feelings that you expect for a man to give you, and you're wondering why you still feel unfulfilled. And it's because society, the world, the enemy has completely confused us in what love is.
How have you been able to, I guess, to change that narrative, like to show what love is in a non-romantic way to like friends, co-workers, you know what I'm saying? Like, how have you been able to change people's perspective of love?
Man, my idea of love, my fuel, if to know that I love you means that I pour into you. Everything that I have. And
So if I'm calling or texting you or fussing at you about, hey, you said you was gonna be putting this project out, what's going on, what you need, like encouragement, all like that type, that's how
I pour love. Whether it's for a quick minute or for over a period of time, my way of showing you that I love you is because I want you to be greater. I want you to be better. So even if it's something that I don't agree with, even if it's something that I feel like is a terrible decision, the way that I show you that I love you in that is to help you get through it. I've never been the person to be affectionate and be hugging and all that kind of stuff. So my way of showing affection and love is through
I get it, but we have
helping
to
you be great.
And we have to be careful with affection. The Bible talks about how cunning, you know what I'm saying, witty the enemy can be, man. Like, it's some smooth cats out here that can be affectionate, you know what I'm saying, that can like literally cater to your flesh because of what they're trying to hit you with, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's really a responsibility of anybody who feels that they recognize and they've understood what love is to start to change the narrative. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you see random acts of love, when you see, like, this is what I consider love. When you see two kids out here fighting and people jump out of their cars or they get involved and they stop that stuff, I consider that love. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is super busy and, you know what I'm saying, everyone will take care of themselves. Love is selfless. So when you put yourself in danger sometimes, just to show that, man, listen, I care just as much about my well-being as seeing you somebody's baby.
But because of the manipulation of love, we no longer even have people that care that much. You see two kids fighting, you drive right past because you're afraid. You're more
The fear has kind of overtaken.
And that
taking
sucks.
Love. Yeah.
You know, I know we weren't raised in the era where our neighbors could whoop us. No, we weren't. But we were raised in an era where our neighbors cared, where if they did see us, they would check us. Maybe not to the extent, but we don't even have that anymore. And it's because of the misunderstanding of what love is.
So if we explain what love is and you understand it at a younger age, if you are displayed it at a younger age, man, because that's compassion, like I said, it's patience. It takes away a lot of the things that we do and we allow to happen to people just around us because we know how powerful love really is and what it really is, man. It's a lot of people who so you could be listening to this and feel like you don't have any value, nobody loves you. And yes, we need something tangible. And that's why I always point out, you know, how much a cloud weighs. It's one of my new favorite things I know is that a cloud weighs almost like the weight of 100 elephants. And ain't nobody waking up in the morning praying like, Lord, please don't let no cloud crush me. That's how much God loves you. He's already put something. The form of the clouds is what keeps us safe. Like, the provisions have been set before you. And actually, on a hot day, a cloud is almost the most clutch thing on the earth.
Absolutely.
So something that has really fully thought this out. like what how can I help here? How can I do this? That's a love more intense than any person will be able to fulfill in one sitting. You know what I'm saying? So while you're waiting for that tangible person that deserves to love you and receive and take your love, you got a whole bunch of stuff tangibly that we can look at.
So what's other tangible things that you can show?
Well, I get real deep into just the science, man. Your heart is beating. People die every day. People are born every day. Every day you wake up, it has nothing. You don't engineer your life to wake up. So that's another choice that God gives you life. So when you look, oh, don't nobody love me. You woke up today, bro. That's not everybody's testimony. That's
Absolutely.
not everybody's confession. And then the one thing that I've learned, even just ministry period, is the way you feel love, start by trying to give it. Because sometimes, unfortunately, there are people in this world that are unicorns, man, whose story is a lot more harsher, the things that they're dealing with. And you may have to be the love in the world that you haven't received. But God doesn't, he never leaves or neglects those people that are out there. That's the one thing he said, if you love me, man, you know what I'm saying? If you want to show God, love his people.
Yeah. Because
that's something that God really pressed through the Bible, how much important loving someone else is.
Absolutely.
So let's get y'all, one of our dope new sponsors up and coming, Bellwether Fashion. Take a break with them, and then we'll be right back for some more dopeness. You listening to Live with MeechReal.
My name is Jermaine James, and I'm the president and founder of Bellwether Fashion. I want people to understand that I am the brand. And when I say I am the brand, I mean that you are the brand. It's that whatever moment you're in, if you're a young kid that's striving to be a lawyer, when you're studying for the bar, when you're taking the bar exam, you are a bellwether. If you're a photographer, every time you pick up that camera, you're a bellwether. Basketball player, every time you're at practice, every time you touch the court, every time you do a drill, you're a bellwether. And so everyone has to understand that it's not about me, it's not about Jermaine, it's about everyone. Everyone is a bellwether in their own right. So I am the brand.
Yes, and we are back. Shout out to Bellwether Fashions.
Super dope.
And like I said, today is the 2nd of August. 2 days away from my wonderful 5-year anniversary to the Miss Latoya Early. What other anniversaries is in August 4th? To me becoming a father, like a full-time, I can't run away. Because once you're married, until you get married, you still got a choice to wake up one day like, you know what, man, I just can't do it. So I'm going to leave. And I actually was in a relationship a little before we started dating. And I don't know what happened, but one day, that person claimed a pillow in my house, and I just said,
oh my gosh.
I just said, listen, I can't do this. It's not you.
I need you to forgive her for that pillow.
It's not you.
There's two
it's
things
me,
I need you to forgive.
But it's my pillow. Don't bring that up.
I need you to forgive pillows, and I need you to forgive those DVDs. Listen, let me tell y'all how amazing my husband and our relationship are. We can talk about anything. We talk about anything, and that's what keeps our relationship. We may fuss, we may fight, we may be mad, but at the end of the day, we're friends. And as a friend, as a person who loves her husband.
Was that an alliteration? We might fight, we might fuss, and we friends. Shout out to Pastor Matt.
Listen.
Them alliterations. That TNT just kicks in like it's just muscle memory.
Don't change
ministry,
the subject.
muscle memory. Yeah, okay. We talk about everything. Okay, so in my journey of love, then I also began to confuse
love with
loyalty. I started confusing it with a certain type of loyalty because some people can be loyal to you with preconceived notions. You know what I'm saying? Or they want something, or they leeching off of you. And I'm not saying that person was leeching off me, but I thought me and this person had a deeper relationship. And anybody who know me, I'm very sensitive about my DVDs. And I gave her
Do you know that we live
70.
We live in a time where DVDs are becoming more and more obsolete.
They still mine. And so we broke up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying if I proposed to you, you want to keep the ring. That's kind of my fault. I gave you that as a gift. If you say, hey, can I borrow some DVDs for this time? For sure. When you break up with me, I would assume that you'd be like, I need to give him his stuff back. but she never did.
But
so
understand,
she
though,
can't be forgiven till she repent to me. That's in the Bible. That's in the word.
No, but check this out.
No?
Your love for those DVDs was very obvious.
Right.
So that person wanted to do anything that they could to hurt you or to taint that love that you had
So
for
you
those
think that
DVDs.
taking to keep them or
So
whatever?
if I kept it from you, then I've captured a piece of something that you love.
Not to be too deep, but I actually battle with was those DVDs idols to me because
Absolutely. The fact that it's
sometimes
6 years later and you
sometimes I
still
thought
talking
about
about
like
that.
I wonder if she letting other people watch my DVDs. Has she let people borrow my
You
DVDs?
need to repent.
I need no.
You got some issues.
or deliverance.
Yeah.
I need to release them DVDs.
You need to release them.
They still not mine.
Where's my oil?
Like I was just thinking, I was just seriously just sitting here thinking like, man, I wonder if she loaning my DVDs out to other people like they hers now.
Or what if she left them in a house and moved?
Oh my
and
God.
who cares?
That even hurts worse. That's even worse. You left my DVDs?
You need deliverance.
Why couldn't she call me and say, hey, I'm leaving them at this abandoned house?
Listen,
I
I'm
would've got them
gonna
myself.
need everyone to stretch your hands forward right now in the name of Jesus. We ask that you will release Demetrius of these DVDs.
You're going to have me riding through the old hood looking for abandoned buildings. Like,
Amen.
where would she leave these DVDs? If I was this evil, sadistic person that stole my DVDs.
We probably should go ahead and transition.
No, straight up, man. For real, man. But these are, it's just so crazy the experiences that you have growing up with what love or your understanding of love can put you through. And I don't regret any of it. Just to be honest, man, because I believe that life is a journey and everything gave me more appreciation. If I never lived in a place where it rained and it was hot, or lived in a house that didn't have air conditioning, let me tell you something. I would not know what it was like to live in a house with air conditioning and it didn't rain. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, so I'm very thankful for the things that didn't hurt me but just made me better, even if it hurt me temporarily. Because I honestly also believe that sometimes when you love somebody, it's gonna hurt a little bit.
It will. It will. But the thing about hurt and pain is that it's not there to keep you in torment. It's there to teach you something. So if I put my hand on the top of a stove, that burn is not to hurt me. That burn is to teach me.
You know what's crazy about that is that you have nerves in your body that tell you it hurts. And that there are some people who have like deficiencies or something happens to their nerves where they don't feel pain, which they could actually die, or you know what I'm saying, because their body isn't telling them, hey, you need to stop. These are other tangible things that you can look at to say, dang, God loved me this much, he set this in play. This is a system he created in your body to say, hey, this is hot, back up. Hey, this water is getting too cold.
So
like
it's the
so
same
many
thing.
things.
It's the same thing in relationships. You have triggers, you have memories, you have things that are supposed to tell you not to go back down that same route so that you don't experience. Use your hurt, use your pain as learning lessons. Don't use them as a form of pity or a form of depression. Let's say, hey, what am I supposed to learn out of this situation so that when I move forward, it don't bring me back to the same place?
No, absolutely. I think anybody right now, man, don't get me wrong. I've had some dark places, some dark times, especially when it came to love, because I was a serial monogamist, and it was like, I think the one thing I thought I sucked at was dating. Like, dog, I suck at this. Like, God, I give up, because obviously I don't know how to be a boyfriend, or I don't know. I just
He wasn't
suck at
preparing you to be a boyfriend.
for sure. And at the same time, so what I did was I said, God, I give up. Do you, dog? Like I talked to God just like, I'm done, bro. I'm tired of breaking up with people. I'm tired of meeting new people's parents. I'm tired of trying to get DVDs back. Like, I'm tired of this. You know what I'm saying? And
Some DVDs.
And I said, I'm gonna stay by. I said, I'm chilling, and I just let a lot of things go, and gave myself some time for God to kind of work some stuff out with me and talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the one thing, when we don't really experience and understand that God is love and that love is all around us, we do so many things trying to acquire love. So a lot of people can't be by themselves. I was a person, I didn't really like being by myself because I liked having people around, because that was another part of love to me. That I thought, oh, you here, you spending the night, you must love me. You know what I'm saying? Even though I hate it when people spend the night, but that's a whole nother thing. Because, well, actually, truthfully, the rejection was to keep you from be rejecting me so that the love can still stay real. So there's a whole bunch of psychological things that happen because we think that you stimulating me emotionally and psychologically and physically is love, and it's just not. That's just not life. So look out for those things. But and this is actually been getting a lot of attention, so shout out to y'all for sending letters. If you got any questions, man, you can always email me at Meech, MEECH, at Live with MeechReal. gmail.com and put in the subject bar, Dear Mr. Christian. So actually somebody at my job kind of pulled me to the side. I was like, hey man, I watched that. I listened to the show. I saw that part about Dear Mr. Christian. I got a question because y'all be tripping. And I'm like, first of all, who is y'all? And what you mean? But he was just saying like, man, about with sex and marriage, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is it so wrong? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, why can't we just do it? Because we going to get married and this, that, and the fourth and all that. And I was like, I'm going to ask my wife on the show. I'm going to see, because me and my wife have different understandings on what the effects of sex, you know what I'm saying, before marriage, or even the effects of having sex with someone you're going to marry before you marry them. So, first of all, like I said, yes, having sex before marriage is a sin. So is busting somebody upside their head. So it's so much to that statement, man, that I just want people to understand, man, that this is how it was explained to me. I saw it was Velcro. Anybody see what, you know, think of Velcro, you sticking two things together. Or you can even use this with two pieces of tape. Keep putting them together. And think one piece of tape is your spirit when you have sex, right? And I want you to keep putting those things together. So every time you put them together, that's you having sex. Okay. After a while,
eventually,
that's that glue, that sticker, it's going to lose its elasticity. It won't stick. And when I saw that, he had some Velcro, and one time he's like, so then God put you in a position or you find the love of your life. And he put it back on that wall, like, this is the love of your life. And it fell. It didn't stick. And that, like, really just, the visual really affected me, because it was really hard going into a relationship and being monogamous and married with a singular worldly view of sex. You know what I'm saying? Because I had all these worldly and carnal expectations that a godly marriage and a marriage, I mean, just a sustaining a marriage of fidelity just can't serve. It can't feed. You know what I'm saying? And it was a major challenge to rewire, to renew my mind, to understand what sex is all about, what sex is for. So it's really not the whole don't have sex before marriage versus you need to be disciplining your body in many ways. Because one, as a man, when you become a leader, you have to discipline yourself, because everything that feel good ain't gonna be good at the right time. It's a time and place for everything. I give a little bit from a woman's perspective of how sex affected you, because you wasn't a virgin. I was a virgin when I got married, because I got baptized April 1st.
Here we go.
It does suck that I got baptized on April Fool's Day, but whatever. Water still works. I got baptized, so I was technically a virgin when I got married. But give me a little bit of your synopsis for
his story. It's hilarious. But honestly, I was the Christian who struggled. I knew that sex before marriage was wrong, right? But no one ever taught me why I shouldn't have sex before marriage. It was just always, don't have sex before marriage to please God. Now, what I can say is, now that I'm married, I understand 120% of why you as a woman should sustain. Now, I can't talk from a male's perspective because that's not my place. But as a woman, the reason why it's so important to sustain is because once you get married, sex changes. It's not the same type of rush that you receive when you're doing it promiscuously or premaritally or however you decide to do it. And if you don't understand how to be in a marriage and how to be intimate with your husband, with your spouse, without having the visions of what you did 5-10 years ago,
those memories don't go away.
Those memories do not go away. So now you saying, well, when I was 22, it was like this. Well,
or
now
when I was with such and such and such,
it was
and such.
like that. You know, and understanding that sex with your husband is the most wonderful sex that you can have. But there's so many layers.
But it's also different. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We go after sex like we go after it when we thirsty or we hungry.
Yeah, but how about this though? When we got married, in my mind, I struggled with believing that sex was okay. Because for so long, I told myself that it wasn't. Like, hey, you shouldn't be having sex. So I had told myself, and it's so funny, I'll never forget, Pastor Matt was teaching about this, and he was saying, when you're praying, ask God to discipline you, as you just stated. Give me discipline to sustain from sex. Do not take away the desire. My prayer, Lord, remove the desire. So by the time I got married and that prayer started to manifest, I'm like, no, wait, I need it back. So it's too much work to have to go through all of these layers instead of just making the decision.
And sex is psychological.
It is.
There's a Pastor Justin Palmer. Is it Justin Palmer? He made a statement in our TNT class once. He said, man, I know they say that, safe sex is this, that, and the fourth, but I've never seen a condom that was big enough to protect your heart.
Listen.
And I thought that was super powerful, because also a condom that protects your spirit, whether you're a believer or not, sex affects you.
It does.
It changes you. It conforms your way of thinking and way of receiving and understanding. And we wield it like a 2-year-old with a pistol. And we hurt so many people. It's such a huge path of brokenness and devastation and depression, man, because we wield this thing with sex as if it's not something that we use to create humans. Like we put it beyond, but everybody that's on this earth now, somebody did it to get them here. And we legit treat sex like it's not something that creates life.
We treat it like a hobby. But here's the thing. Just like we talked about in our last segment back in the day, how you talk about your first love. 9 times out of 10, your first love turns into the first person that you are actually ever intimate with. So now your idea of sex when you're married, now that memory of the first love continues to surface, because you have these soul ties, you have this memory, you have these soul ties
commitments. They give influence to your spiritual. Now these people can influence you.
Absolutely.
Which once a person can influence you, they can become your God. And that just gets really deep into
it. Does. But this is why it's important to wait. And even if you've already had sex, even if you've already had a sexual relationship, make a decision. Yes, Meech did say that when he entered into our marriage, he was a virgin, and
I was.
Cool.
Glory to God.
But if that's the stance that you want to take that stance, because what you need to understand is that your body is so valuable, you're so precious, and it should only be given to the person that's willing to give you their life.
And because it's different, because it's not just about, like I said, the stimulation part of it, man. This is like almost giving somebody your code to your phone to give it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that's, you give them access to a lot of things that everybody shouldn't just have access just because they're attractive or they fit the bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people who look trustworthy who I can't just trust with everything or anything. So, as a person, I want you to say that our appetites, because they were given to us in a way where they're not necessarily right. Like, we have an unnatural appetite for sex. We battle that for most of our life. It shapes how we move and think.
It does.
Like, I wish, all through high school, after the first time I had sex, my drive was, that's all I thought about was having sex. And it was like, dang, I could have done a lot of stuff with the creativity that I went after trying to figure out how to get sex from people. And like, man, I could have probably created an invention or something, man, or just, you know what I'm saying? Or just pushed harder and did a lot of different things because it was focused, man, because that stimulation encouraged something that was unnatural in the aspect of what it was created for. You know what I'm saying? Sex is a celebration to not just create life, but to celebrate two people who are really bound to one another for a bigger purpose than just making you bust.
Because Lord,
I'm sorry. Was that
right?
Was that too much?
That threw me off. What was I about to say?
I'm sorry. I'm so. Hey, my wife turned red in here. That's hilarious.
So marriage, though, I think people understand that marriage is not about sex, right? So the Bible does tell us that it's better to marry than to burn in lust, right? Cool. But marriage is not just about sex. And when you spend most of your or your single season having sex, when you get married, you are not going to understand the purpose of marriage.
Marriage won't cure lust.
No, very good.
For men, when you get married, you may be able to have sex with your wife. Let's just say your wife is super sexually active and she really want to have sex with you all the time. Your lust and desire, because that's what the whole thing with lust in the flesh is, that you can never satisfy your flesh. Never. So
momentarily, but it
temporarily.
comes back.
And for a man, temporarily, that may be a 15 to 25 minute duration of life where you like, oh, I'm satisfied. Okay, well, back to it, which opens up the doors for pornography and a lot of other things that destroy marriages, destroy sexual expectation and sexual pleasures. And it's just so many, it's just a gateway to dysfunction for something that is dope. Like, God made sex for it to feel dope because it's a dope thing. Like, you feel great and you can create somebody and you can connect with somebody. Sweet. He didn't create it for us to be taken from each other, from us hurting each other, from us changing who this person's identity. Like, it's such a huge, and I just want to say gun because guns are vital. It's such a huge tool that we just don't know enough about before we go into it and use it.
It's funny, something that I've learned.
It's like the first time I got an iPhone, I was so confused. Like, dog, what is this? I don't know what's going on with this. I was
and
so
now
confused.
you just won't put it down.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
it's something. It's
I
like,
love my iPhone. That's love?
That's
It don't just stimulate me. No, it's not real love.
It's not real
Because
love.
it stimulates me. Because if it stops stimulating me, I'll go get the note. You're right.
See,
Thank you,
it's
Lord.
so
He
funny
just
how
ministered
we
to me
talk
about the
about
cell phone.
how we talk about sex and how in marriage, my husband and I, we use the term worship, and we've gotten this revelation from a couple different people who taught us how in the marital bedroom, consider that time worship because you're worshiping one another, and you're coming together, and it sounds pretty creepy to say, but it's a form of worship to God because we're honoring our marriage. Yeah,
You know he in the room when we do it.
absolutely.
That's weird.
You know, he may.
But he in the room everywhere.
He may tell you how to switch it up a little bit.
You going
That's
too far.
flesh. You don't know that.
God-
Listen, the Holy
God giving you
Spirit.
God
the
giving
Holy
you-
Spirit
giving you
uses
positions?
me. He may.
The Holy Spirit uses you in
Yes.
sex?
The Bible says that any man that lacks wisdom. So if I need to be wise in the bedroom,
I
that
want to
means
tell
the
y'all
Holy
that
Spirit needs
this
to
last
guide
part
me.
that y'all listen to, I want y'all to study on this. We are not officials in this area. I am
We're
not about
not.
to tell y'all that God is telling you to
I do. I believe
turn
that.
upside
Nope.
down or anything else.
Nope, I believe it. The Holy Spirit is, if he dwells
telling
in
you to-
you, he don't leave. He don't leave when you have sex. He's still there.
But sex is still a flesh aspect.
It's the
That's
flesh feeling, but if it's done between two married people, then it is spiritual.
That's dope. Hey y'all, listen. If you're interested in this part of the I'm not gonna say God can do it. God say He can move mountains,
Listen,
so maybe
right.
He
How
can
he
tell you to
gonna
move
tell-
your wife.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
say He can or He cannot. But man,
Don't put limits on my God.
But at the end of the day, man, waiting for sex for marriage, man, is just deeper. First of all, you shouldn't be abstaining from sex for marriage because then marriage is an idol or your spouse is an idol
That's good.
and they're not God. You should be abstaining because you should be caring and valuing how you're feeding yourself and how you are carrying yourself.
And how it pleases Christ.
Yeah, so it's not about getting married. It's not about none of that. And it's a lot of things that you should do because doing that can psychologically, it conditions you a different way. So you have to do it from a pure aspect of, man, I just want to please God. Not, I need to get married or, hey, my number too high. Or like, this has to be a renewing of the mindset because we've been fed so much information that we don't even view sex in the pure context of what sex was created for. So, first of all, sex is not love.
It's
Not at
not.
all. Because parents, we love the love for your child gives you a glimpse of the love of God that He has for us. And unless you're a sicko or you got some, you don't nobody want to have sex with their child, but you can't deny that I love my baby. You feel me? Same thing with people and their dogs and their animals. I believe people really love their animals, and only weird, nasty, gross people want to have sex with their animals. I'm just saying, it's just weird.
That's a demonic spirit. But
You get what I'm saying?
I
Is
do.
that yeah? Okay. Sex
I
don't
do.
mean just because I can sleep with you don't mean that I love you. 'Cause
It does not.
It don't even mean I like you. It can really just mean that you in the right place
at the right time. Absolutely.
For real. So
Absolutely. And really quickly with sacrifice in the marriage aspect, as you just made a good point about abstaining is not about to wait for marriage, but to do it for Christ. And that goes back to love. When I love my husband so much that I'm willing to sacrifice so that I can honor him.
okay, I was gonna say, but do you love me more than you love God?
No, but what I'm saying is when you love Christ so much, you taking away, you deflecting from what I'm about to say.
We clearing it up. No, you're right. I'm feeling you. I'm with you.
When you love Christ so much, you're willing to sacrifice. So
That's your first, because that's our first husband. That's your first marriage.
Exactly. That's your
when
first
you accept him
marriage.
into your life, and that's
You're his bride. So if you're supposed to love him, as I just stated, I love my husband enough where I'll sacrifice. If he says,
okay, right.
If I'm saying, okay, my husband, my God, my love don't want me to have premarital sex, I love him enough to sacrifice. So that's how you have to think about it. Not necessarily, keeping yourself from it. And yeah, we no longer really look at sex as a sin for whatever reason. I want you to look at it more so as a relationship. You're in a relationship with Christ. And if that's something that the person that you're in a relationship don't want, you should honor that.
I just like to go back to science, man. If you just look at the raw kinetics of sex, man, that's the most intimate and gross. Like, those are nerves and pores and skin and flesh that we just invading in each other's bodies. You feel me? Like, that ain't no. It's like a public bathroom. Who walks in the public bathroom barefoot and then go eat, drink out the toilet? I'm just saying, sex is super. Biologically, it's just so much. So, man, I just want you, if you're listening to this, that love is super real, and love is all around you. But I want you to begin to pay attention to the lies of the enemy and the lies of people who are being used by the enemy to try to confuse you on what love is and what you have to do to show your love. Because a man or a woman, a person that really loves you, will not say we need to have sex to show it, because there is a million things that you can do to show love that everybody is fully clothed. So I just wanted to give y'all that, man. It was real quick. Like I said, for our anniversary, I wanted to talk about love, and we're going to celebrate our love. You know what I'm saying? So, LaToya Early, real quick, just can you tell the people how to keep up with your dopeness? Maybe get certified so they can spiritually impregnate people too.
Absolutely. So, of course.
Now y'all can have that type of. No, I'm not gonna get into that.
Thank you.
I had a dope.
I just think
it would have took too long. I ain't telling y'all to mess with people's heads and psychologically get them pregnant like
yes,
this.
Thank you.
So I got to be in context. There is purpose that is in all of us. So yeah. So tell me how.
Well, I do believe that I've been called to midwife. I do believe that it is my responsibility as a midwife to not just be there during conception, but to be there during the process until delivery. The process is probably one of the most difficult things as it pertains to building a business. And I always use the process of childbirth to the same as the process of birthing vision. Okay. And I must say that birthing vision I have 3 babies. So birthing vision has probably been one of the hardest things that I've ever given birth to. Okay. But I do want to be there for those who are looking to really birth something new into our world and really birth the gift that God has given them. So I do encourage you to visit us at www.chasegreatenterprises.com, and most definitely follow me at LaToya Early on all social media platforms, just so that you can be connected with someone who cares just as much as you do.
Sweet. You know me. I'm MeechReal. Y'all can find me anywhere at MeechReal. You want to give it just for a second? So, just real quick, just to explain something that a lot of us are getting very in tune with emotions and this, that, and the fourth, which is nothing wrong with it, man. But like the 5 love languages are ways to show your affection, your compassion, and your intuitiveness. You can go ahead and give it to them real quick. What's the 5?
So real quick, words of affirmation, which of course is telling that person how much you care, and words of encouragement. Acts of service is doing for that person, receiving gifts, for showering, giving gifts, of course. Quality time, just setting time aside for that loved one, and physical touch.
Yeah, see, and all these things you can do with God in your relationship with Christ. You can spend time. You can affirm and be affirmed. You can buy him things. How do you buy God stuff? That's just invested in loving God's people.
No, I would do that as giving. Anytime you give to someone,
because we can't. Yeah, God not like I need $5.
Right. Yeah, I believe that's giving.
Sweet. So we want y'all to look out for love. Love is real. Love is God. God is love. Let me say that right. God is love. And love won't take from you and leave you empty, low, down, and depressed. Listen, y'all make sure y'all checking me out everywhere at MeechReal. If you got any questions for our dear Mr. Christian segment, please reach out to me at Meech, MEECH, at livewithmeechreal.com. Peace and love to y'all. Take it easy.